first presenter will be Deck Cadet Tiligero, and the second is Deck Cadet Delmar, and the third is Deck Cadet Alipan. And this is Deck Cadet Tiligero, and he will be the one to report. Let's go!
Good day everyone, I am Deck Cadet Women Vero, seat number 15, and today I'm going to discuss about theories on social certification. So first things first, what is social certification? So social certification is the process of assigning individuals differently from their social levels that differentiate them as superior or inferior, so rich or poor, and in effect, society divides into a number of layers where people are ranked according to their class, status, and power. So, let's proceed on theories on social certification. So, number one, the Weber. So, he believed that class, status, and power are important basis of social certification or stratification. So, he used the term class referring to the group of people who have similar level of wealth, ownership of objects, and income. So the term status is referred to people who have the same prestige lifestyle, while power is the man's ability to impose his or her will to others. So the example of power is that the teacher has the power over the students, to their students, and he has the ability to impose his or her will to their students, right? So for further explanation, so power and wealth are correlative, and without power there is no wealth, and without wealth there is no power. So number two, Gerhard Lenski. So he observed that development of technology was largely responsible for social certification. So it means that economic conditions of a society improve significantly if they have complex technology. So example of this is that we as individuals having gadgets like cell phones, it makes us much accessible from others, right? So we have a lot of jobs to do where we made it much easier and much faster through technology. So number three, according to functionalist theories. So according to functionalist theories, the people who perform special and difficult tasks are highly compensated. Like for these functionalist theories, the main point is that task specializations leads to social certification. So a perfect example for this is that a captain, a chief mate, and officers on board on deck department, chief engineers, they were highly compensated. They have a special position in the society of maritime industry because of the long heinous expensive trainings that they had. So if they went into a company, they were treated very well. The company gave them copies, special treatments, unlike the ratings like OS, AB. They were treated differently. So that is the perfect example of that functionalist theorist. So if you don't have you didn't experience the long expensive and heinous trainings, you won't receive the same treatment as those who experience that. So number four, the conflict theorist. So they believe that stratification happens because some of people submit themselves to manipulation. So the known conflict theorist Karl Marx, he said that the conflict between the capitalist class and the conflict between the capitalist class and the working class leads to unequal distribution of ownership in the society. So perfect example of that is that the ownership and control, the capitalist class owns the companies, while the working class belongs to the workers who works for that company. So Mills and Dunderhoff agreed with the idea of class conflict, but not necessarily with the idea that such conflicts results from the ownership of means of product as claimed by Marx. So they emphasize that the conflict is the result of the struggle for power among various groups, not necessarily the ruling and the working groups. For example, the rich people compete against each other for power. So for example for this, that they compete for power is that the politicians compete for supremacy, right? So fraternities clash for their superiority. So both powerful persons compete for each other to achieve the power itself. So that will be all to my report, and let's have Decadent Delmar seat number 14 to discuss about the categories of social certification. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Vincent Delmar, seat number 14. So let's talk about categories of social certification. For Weber, certification systems in any society include these categories: social class, status, and power. So first is social class. So social class refers to a group of people who have the same amount of specific resources like wealth, education, and occupation. So for example is seafarers. So they have the same wealth, education, occupation. It's like doctors and teachers. Second is status. Status, sociologists use the term status to describe a social position that a person holds. Status enables an individual to command prestige and esteem. By prestige, we mean the value attached to a position without regard to who occupies it. The greater the prestige, the higher the status is. Self-esteem, on the other hand, refers to the value attached by the individual according to how it plays his role. So, status, for example, is the captain of the ship. So, that's the status. So, self-esteem is also refers to how he plays his role. For example, is being a captain. So, how well he played his role for being a captain, and how he commands his crew, and how he plays it. So there is three types of status. So there is achieved status, ascribed status, and master status. So first is achieved status. Achieved status is a social position attained voluntarily by a person through his or own efforts. So first is achieved status. Achieved status, for example, is he wants to be a honor student. So first he studies hard so that he can achieve to be an honor student. So that's achieved status. Second is ascribed status. Ascribed status is a social position received by a person at birth or assigned by society without regard for the person's unique talents or characteristics. Like, for example, is a son of a Bill Gates, or a son of a prince, a son of a queen and king. So they are rich inborn. So they are born rich. So for example, the son of Bill Gates. That's for example of status. Master status is a status that has special partner for social identity. Represents a person's general position in society. For example, is master's is doctor. The doctor is being a doctor is more important than being a counselor in his barangay. For example, so role requirement is what is expected from you. For example, if you're a doctor, you are expected to play the part of a doctor in your community. Role strain occurs when an individual is unable to fill the role because the same social position has different demands and expectations. For example, is the teacher wants to teach the students more clearly, and he wants to let them learn from his or her lessons. So, but what but but it's pandemic. There's limitations and there's social distancing. So there's limitations of the learnings of the students. So that's the example. Role strain occurs when an individual is unable to fill the role because the same social position has different demands and expectations. So role conflict occurs when contradictory expectations arise from two or more social positions held by the same persons. So for example as role conflict is his role as a parent or his role as a doctor. So in a parent, he is very busy. He has a problem in his own family, so he needs time to fix his family, and then he has time to play his role as a doctor too. So there's a conflict in their roles. Third is power. The third is power. Power is the ability of an individual to influence other people to do what he or she wants them to do. With or without their consent, most people feel uncomfortable with the idea with or without their consent attached to power. It appears that it intentionally dominates others or even exploits them. In fact, some prominent figures have made unpleasant remarks about power. So, for example, power is being the captain of the ship. So the captain of the ship has power to command his or her crew to do what the captain wants to do. So that's the example of power. So Adam said power is poison. Lord Acton declared power tends to corrupt, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. Karl Marx argued that organized power of one class to displace another, and Pepys 11 claims that power is unbribed ambition for domination. And influence refers to normal power based on persuasion rather than coercion and force with authority possesses. Resource control is the power that refers to possession of wealth. So for example, resource control is they have been caught by the police, so they have the riches, they have the money to give the police so that they will not go to jail. So that's example of resource control. Authority refers to socially approved and legitimate power to make the decisions binding and the orders obligatory. So there's three types of authority. So first is traditional authority. Traditional authority is the power granted according to custom. For example, is tribal chieftainship. Second is legal rational authority. Legal rational authority is the power granted according to formal set of rules procedures. So, for example, is being a mayor, being captain of the barangay, being president. So, third is charismatic authority. Charismatic authority is based on the unique personality of a particular person. Oftentimes, this character is linked to supernatural beings. So, for example, is Jesus Christ, Gandhi, Hitler, Napoleon, and Felix Manalo. So they have great influence on great charismatic. So that is charismatic authority. So that's it.
Good day, everyone. I am Tech Cadet Alipan, seat number 5, and my report is all about the social class in the Philippines. So, some Filipinos authors suggest that social class in the Philippines can usually be expressed in 3 major categories. So, whereby each category consists of 3 social classes based on certain economics consideration. So, Azazna indicates these classes as follows. So, Number one is lower category. So lower category is composed of the upper lower class and a lower class. To these levels belongs the factory and skilled workers, and there there are small farmers and clerks office workers. Most of all, it's sari-sari store owners, laundry workers, drivers, household servants, and another people on hand to mouth existent. Generally, the lower class category earns lesser and underpaid. So the second one is middle category. So middle category is composed of the upper middle class, and the middle class and the lower middle class. Most small enterprise owners are agribusiness owners, some education administrators, and bank and department stores, and high rankings seafarers belongs to this class. This category is made up of people who live relatively in comfortable life. And the third one is an upper category. So upper category is composed of the upper class, the middle upper, rich families, big businessmen, and corporate typhancies belongs to upper category, are so rich and powerful that their decisions can affect and change the lives of so many people, especially the poor. And that's the social class in the Philippines. Thank you.